Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, we have a great analysis show with Randi Thompson, Helen Foley, and Jesse Wadhams. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
A power line is more than a power line. It's maintaining the bottom line for small businesses. It's keeping the assembly line moving for our workforce. For our brightest minds, it's meeting a deadline. It's on the front line with our heroes. And on the sidelines of the biggest games. It's a direct line to our loved ones. And it's a lifeline for the most vulnerable. There's a lot on the line.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're going to try to analyze all the things political that are going on right now with Randi Thompson, the political consultant, Helen Foley of Foley Public Affairs, and Jesse Wadhams with Black & Wadhams Attorneys at Law. Pleasure to have you all here. Randi, so the bombshell went off. Even though a couple of weeks earlier, we'd had Congressman Mark Amadei on the show sounding like he was running for re-election, and then he says, no more. Your thoughts?
Well, I chatted with some of his staff and with him, and it was just, okay, 15 years is enough. And I think it's just because we've been so divisive these days. He can't hold a town hall meeting that won't break out into a fist fight, it seems like. So, the voters are a lot more caustic, but so is the environment a lot more caustic. I think he's just kind of done. I think the Trump administration has been tough on him. I know Helen's going to probably pipe in about something on that, but I think he's just kind of done what he could do. I think he's very frustrated he couldn't get the lands bill done. I'm hoping he gets it done before he leaves, because that is such an important issue for rural and western and northern Nevada. But I think the environment is just so partisan and so caustic that I don't blame him for getting out.
All right, Helen?
Well, I had great respect for Senator Amadei in the legislature, and he was a nonpartisan type of legislator. He would work very closely with Democratic senators like Terry Kerr and Mike Schneider. He was absolutely wonderful. He was conservative, but he was rational and he was very good. Unfortunately, what happens when you go to Congress, especially in the last few years, is you have had to play the Trump songbook. And if you don't, you are punished. So he was not able to be the member of Congress that I had hoped he would be. I'm sure it was frustrating for him. I think the Democrats will probably take over after the midterm elections. He won't have a leadership position any longer. He's served for many years, and I think he's ready to go home.
Okay, Jesse, Congressman Amade, irrational?
No, I think, after 15 years in Congress these days, I think, he certainly deserves a good retirement. And I think, that's part of it. And I think Helen and Randy hit on it. It's, the world of politics, particularly in DC, is so much more difficult. It's so much more partisan, so much more tribal that, at a certain point, you're just not going to see folks staying for 20, 30, 40 years anymore because it's just tough. And I think the world is we just live in a social media age where things just are magnified. And so I think, that's a good run. And I think he's did a pretty decent job overall. So I think welcome to retirement.
Okay, so here's my point then, Randy, which is, a lot of people are trying to get rid of the Electoral College, which benefits states like Nevada. What also benefits states like Nevada is people who are there, like Senator Reid was and Senator Bryan for a long time, and they get to be in leadership. What's going to happen to Nevada?
Yeah, seniority matters. It really does. Well, I mean, you got to look at how many people are retiring. I think we're at 30-something congressional members that are retiring this year. So I think Mark is part of the trend of a lot of people are just giving up, which means a lot of states are going to be losing some seniority. And we have not had a cardinal in a long time, like Mark has been a cardinal on the Appropriations Committee. So it does hurt us. We are a small state, and unless you've got somebody in leadership, it's going to be a tougher fight for us. We're not going to get as much done. Senator Masto is now the senior member of that delegation, and I think she's an outstanding senator personally. So I think she can represent us and fight for us very well.
And Helen, is she going to run for re-election? It seems like it.
Oh, I certainly anticipate that she will. I think she is really a leader, and we're fortunate to have her. But Sam, what has happened is there is such ugliness at the top. There's meanness, there's misogyny, there is racism. When Donald Trump calls female reporters piggies and ugly and stupid and demeans them, and even female members of Congress who are not lily white, he says, why don't you just go home? It's a nastiness and an awfulness. And unfortunately, because of our social media, so many people don't even get the news that I get. We listen to who we want to listen to, and the rest is just blocked out. I hope to God that in the coming years, we can rectify this, because up at the legislature, I deal with Democrats, Republicans. I have great respect for all of them. I don't agree with them on everything, but we treat each other in a civil fashion. Even with the presidencies, I didn't agree with Ronald Reagan or the Bushes at times, but I so respected their office, the office of presidency. And so we treated each other in a far different way now. There's an incivility now that is terrifying.
Okay, so Jesse, how do we fix this? And can we?
Well, I think all things in life, and I think if you look at history, all things are kind of cyclical, and who knows how we get there on this, but I think if we survive this, I think, our ancestors down the road will look on the social media age and say, wow, they were not ready for that level of interconnectedness away from being connected at a human level. My hope is that what we start to see, and as generations that are more digital natives than we all are, they start to realize human connection can't be replaced by the online. And maybe that will start to swing us back to, what? Our shared humanity, our shared compassion, the things that we care about are really all the same at the end of the day. We care about a roof over our head and making sure the kids are going to school and learning and eating and all of the basics, right? And that is kind of a human condition that we all need to get back to understanding. And that's what I hope, that maybe somehow that we as a society start to understand our shared humanity.
Okay, so you bring up a really great point, human interaction to begin with. Mm-hmm. But, to me, Randy, in the people I talk to, I would say that 10% are far right, 10% are far left, and 80% just want to get the job done. They want to raise their family, they want to go to work every day, and the news media doesn't reflect the places where we live for the most part. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're not drug central, we're not, the homeless central, we're not a place where everything's collapsing. And yet that's what the media, for the most part, portrays beyond this political craziness.
Well, that's because it gets clicks. It gets people to it drives revenue. It drives people to look at their site. And, the more interesting a headline is, the more, frankly, flamboyant a headline is, the more you're likely are going to click through and read it. And that's advertising dollars that can generate, that generates for those media sites. So I think so much of it is sensationalized. It's like we're all looking at the National Enquirer now instead of normal news. So it's just they sensationalize things to get people to come to, because it's so competitive. I mean, there's so many thousands of websites that are news websites. What's going to get you? What's going to get people driving eyeballs to that website is a sensational headline. So to some extent, I think the media is a large part to blame for a lot of this.
Well, I don't disagree with you. It doesn't necessarily mean that the satisfaction you seek from the headline is actually delivered when you go 20 pages deep and find that they're just trying to sell you a product.
Yeah.
And I think also, Helen, that what's interesting too is to watch the commercials that play between the programs you're watching. If you're watching 60 Minutes these days, every medication on the planet is being advertised. They are not advertising to my granddaughter of 30 years of age.
No, that's true. But you were talking about sensationalism and the media, but I think so much of this is driven from the top. I get my head in a tailspin because every day there's something else about Donald Trump, and whether it's starting a war, trying to hide from the Epstein tapes. I saw this morning just before we came on that and in the State of the Union address that he was honoring all of these soldiers that had been hurt. Well, I remember in 2015 when he said that Senator John McCain, he was not a war hero because he was captured. And so POWs aren't war heroes. And then he went to Arlington Cemetery with John Kelly, whose son was buried at Arlington Cemetery for losing his life after serving the people. And Donald Trump said to him, "I don't get it. What was in it for him? It's all about me and what I can do and the money I can make and how much my friends are going to make." You see what's happened with the media in this whole deal with Paramount and Warner Brothers and everything. A few people on top are controlling everything. And I'm worried about CNN now being neutered the way that CBS has been. And we are creating such a divide between the ultra rich and the rest of us that we could eventually have a revolution. I don't know. It's a sad state of affairs, and it comes from the top and not just from the media.
Okay, so I will throw out a little defense of CBS News, because if you watch the last couple of weekends on 60 Minutes, they have certainly not been the pro-Trump network by any stretch of the imagination, but that's another story. Let's move on here to go back to CD2 and the 500 candidates that are now running for CD2, especially on the Democratic side, led by Greg Kidd, presumably with his money. But I'll tell you, we had Kathy Durham on, who is a councilwoman from West Wendover. She got a remarkable amount of viewership, both online, on our website, the normal traffic with the podcast, but also on YouTube. I mean, like 450 views just alone on YouTube, which is a lot for this show. Where do you think that this primary race is going to go? Is it going to be money or, position?
Well, that's the interesting thing. You say that because I think CD2 right now, you haven't seen. The logical place to be would be more Republicans coming out for the primary and kind of announcing, and clearly there is some attempt to try to at least keep the primary more in a focus, at least on the Republican side, because you're right, the Democrats are coming out. This is the national conventional wisdom would say that the Democrat Party should do very well this cycle. And so is CD2 a potential pickup? It seems a little out of reach still to me, but look, I think in a 3-4 way primary for either side, you're talking about what, 20% of the electorate maybe that you need to pick up to get to the general. So, obviously you got Greg Kidd, the money, the name recognition from the last run. Teresa Benitez Thompson, who's now throwing her hat in. She's a well-known commodity in Washoe County, chief of staff to Attorney General Ford, so well-known. And rural folks that will get in. I think this could be very interesting as you kind of play towards the general, but the primary is going to be the most interesting, because so few voters will select those two candidates.
Okay, so Randy, let's go back to Jill Derby. She was the Democrat that came the closest to being able to win that seat, and she would have been the only Democrat to have won CD2. What do you think the chances are that a Democrat could win this time?
I agree with Jesse. I don't think it's a Democrat seat yet. But we got to look at the fact that a lot of independents, one motor voter is not helping, because we're getting all these people registered who are never going to vote. So how do you disseminate?
Or that they're not registered to the right party.
Or the right party, which we've seen time and again. So, but this surge of independence really is from the motor voter bill, and I just don't see a lot of those people voting. But we are seeing that the independents are hate Trumpers, so they are skewing to the left. And I think Teresa Benitez Thompson can probably beat Greg Kidd. I really do think, just because of her name ID. Greg really wasn't that well received in our state, and he's one of those billionaires who's doing billionaire things, as Michael Leonard in the Reno report put. But I think it's got to be. It's going to be a good primary for the Republicans, whoever comes out. And I hope we don't have a Republican primary. I hope that we just get somebody anointed that can come in and not have getting into that race and having a dirty primary will hurt the Republican candidate, just like it's going to hurt the Democrat candidate.
Okay, Helen, you get the last word on this. Your thoughts on the Republican and Democratic sides here.
Well, since Barbara Vukanovich took the seat many years ago, it's never really been anything but Republican. But now we have so many independents and so many Republicans that are frustrated with Donald Trump. I think a lot will have to do with national politics and the swing that we have. And with all the independents, if they went, an awful lot of them went the other way, the way they are in the polling right now, I think Teresa Benitez Thompson could be our next member of Congress from CD2.
All right, we'll take a break on that note and come right back.
Welcome to Story County, where history meets innovation, and a pioneering spirit continues to shape our future. At the heart of the Tahoe Reno Industrial Center, we power the future with global leaders in technology and manufacturing, driving progress that reaches far beyond our county lines. From advanced manufacturing to tech innovation, our industries are creating thousands of quality careers, fueling a vibrant economy that benefits every Nevadan. But it's more than just growth. Our community is our foundation, supporting families, empowering local initiatives, and creating a place where everyone belongs. Be part of a legacy built on bold ideas and boundless possibilities. Join us in building a brighter future right here in Story County. Story County, helping build Nevada's future.
Is about to hit a whole nother level during the $100,000 March Mayhem giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Win up to $5,000 in cash every week and a top prize of $15,000 in cash during the grand finale drawing. Don't miss the mayhem. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
The trucking industry is the most resilient link in the supply chain. And for over 90 years, the Nevada Trucking Association has been the voice for the men and women in the trucking industry. From Carson City to Washington, D.C., we advocate for policies to protect our trucking companies and keep commerce flowing. Because Nevada's and America's prosperity is tied to trucks. There's nothing without trucking.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with analysis from Randi Thompson, Helen Foley, and Jesse Wadhams. Helen, on the Democratic side, the Attorney General's race is rather interesting with the Senate Majority Leader, Nicole Cannizzaro, and the Treasurer, Zach Conine. How do you think this is going to play out?
I like them both. I have great respect for both of them. Let's see what kind of race they put on. They're both hard workers, and we can't miss if we elect one of them as our Attorney General.
I think that Randy Zach Conine had the most memorable commercial last time he ran for office for re-election. Nicole Cannizzaro has lots of money, but she doesn't have lots of name recognition across the state because the legislature doesn't get that much publicity. What are your thoughts?
I think Zach's going to do well. I mean, I've worked with Nicole for a lot of years, and I respect her too. But I think Zach can play also to the moderates and to the. I mean, he can kind of cross that line of getting the progressives, getting the moderates, getting Republicans, and he just comes across as a nice guy. He is very friendly. And he's done a good job as treasurer, so I think he can really I think he can run on that. He's been doing a good job, and he's not played partisan with that office, which is nice.
Jesse,
it's going to be it's a good race, right? It's going to be a tough race for both of them. They both bring very different things to the table, right? I think Conine comes with that level of having some statewide name recognition and a little bit of that. Maybe a little bit more moderate, but I think Senator Cannizzaro has some great strengths. I mean, she has a strong record of leadership in the Senate. She actually is very north and south. She went to college up here in northern Nevada, so you're going to see a very interesting campaign. I think it is going to be a battle for both of them.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's take another break. We'll be right back.
We're the Peters family, 2 combat veterans, our daughter Elle, and our Liberty Dogs puppy in training, Cooper.
Cooper will grow up to be a life-changing companion to a veteran with visible or invisible challenges.
We're helping Cooper build focus and confidence so he's ready to support his veteran.
And we know he will help bring happiness and independence to his veteran's life.
So join us, become a puppy raiser, and change lives, one puppy at a time.
Meet Nevada Health Link, Nevada's official health insurance marketplace. Your link to savings, selection, free assistance, and name brand health insurance, where 90% of enrollees lower the cost of their monthly premium. Everyone deserves access to quality health coverage, no matter your income or family size. Visit NevadaHealthLink.com. A few minutes could save you hundreds of dollars per month.
Nevada Health Link. Our plans are made for your plans.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
Welcome to the Ahern Boutique Hotel, where luxury and warmth come together in the heart of Las Vegas.
We take pride in offering a one-of-a-kind experience for both locals and tourists.
Join us for handcrafted cocktails and an unforgettable experience.
Joel's Chop House, the perfect place to savor views of the Las Vegas Strip.
Satisfy your cravings at the Ahern Chocolate Shop.
No smoking, no resort fees, and the parking is always free. The Ahern Luxury Boutique Hotel is your home away from home.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're trying to put some context into the election cycle that the filing has already begun now. We're here with Jesse Wadhams, Helen Foley, and Randi Thompson. Jesse, the governor's race. Where are we with this at this point?
Well, hey, it's going to, right now.
Is Alexis Hill going to be the next governor? Let's get straight to it.
Wow, you put me on the spot like that. I think she is going to run a spirited campaign against Attorney General Ford. And this, right now, I think it would appear that the conventional wisdom would say this is probably a Ford-Lombardo race for governor. I think the generally in the primary for the Republicans are going to clear that out. Governor Lombardo may have something, but with the national wins the way they are, it's a tough race for Republicans. Certainly, I think the incumbency matters, but you also have the Nevada conventional wisdom, which is without a presidential race and a senator race, Republicans tend to do well. So one of two conventional wisdoms that are true will become the two will become proved.
Okay. But on the other hand, Randy, is this 2014 all over again?
It feels like it. It does. But I think that's why they're seeing some ballot initiatives, like the ballot initiative to require voter ID or not allow women in sports. You've got to get, that's what's going to motivate voters more than the candidates this year. Is there something on the ballot that hits their heart?
Okay. Helen, your thoughts?
Well, I think that the national is going to really determine a lot of this. You know, the governor is not a big Trump person. We all know that, but he has had to play that game. And if this Jeffrey Epstein thing really blows up and hurts the president, I think it could hurt Lombardo because of his association with Donald Trump.
Okay, so we've got a lightning round here because we only have less than a minute here. But I just want to throw in Marilyn Dondero Loop versus George Harris. Where is this one going to end up?
Tightest race in the state Senate. I got no prediction for you.
Randy?
I'm going George.
Helen?
I got to go Maryland. I got to go Maryland.
And that's where we have to leave. Thank you all very much. Folks who are listening and watching, you don't realize that these folks have been here for almost 3 hours.
Forever.
We've had technical difficulties, and we're now going to take them off and celebrate them. So thank you all for your patience, and we'll be right back.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
At Nevada Urban Indians in Reno, your health is our priority. Our medical clinic welcomes everyone. We accept all insurances, ensuring quality care is within reach. Nevada Urban Indians, your partners in health.
You're in trouble with the law. It's easy to think you'll lose everything, but there is hope. I'm Attorney Orrin Johnson. Your first step is to hire a serious attorney with the experience to successfully navigate the legal system for you.
Sometimes hope means addiction treatment instead of jail, and making sure you're treated fairly.
Sometimes hope means fearless trial attorneys will stand up to the government when they get it wrong. Call or text Orrin Johnson Law.
We'll make a plan.
You'll take back your life.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com. And our archive goes back to 2002. So you can look at all kinds of historic interviews right here on Nevada Newsmakers. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next podcast.